I would like to call the Board of Directors meeting of the Des Moines Public Schools to order for May 16th, 2017. Please take the roll.
Ms. Boson? Here.
Natasha Newcomb. Ms. Langford.
Here.
Ms. Caldwell-Johnson.
Here.
Ms. Elsbernd. Ms. Anderson. Mr. Barron.
Here.
The first item on our agenda tonight is approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to pull any items? Seeing none, may I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as posted?
Motion. I'll second.
We have a motion from Anderson and a second from Boson to approve this evening's agenda. Please vote. Motion carries 6-0. The next item on our agenda this evening is approval of the minutes. May I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the May 2nd, 2017 board meeting?
I'll move approval. I'll second.
We have a motion from Elsbernd and a second from Langford to approve the May 2nd, 2017 board meeting minutes. Are there any corrections? Seeing none, please vote. Motion carries 6-0. The next item on our agenda is district recognitions, and it looks like Dr. Hayard is already ready.
That's right. Good evening, Board. I'm pleased to welcome some special guests today for recognition of their good work in support of our schools and students. When the Harlem Globetrotters visited some of our schools a few weeks ago, it wasn't just about basketball, but it was also part of a financial lesson for students and an anti-bullying lesson as well. Both the Globetrotters visits and the financial lessons were thanks to Wells Fargo and the efforts they are leading to raise awareness among students about financial literacy, savings, and being fiscally responsible. The good work of Wells Fargo and the Globetrotters with our students is deservedly being recognized. To share more about this program and its recognition, I'd like to introduce Tony Dickinson, Vice President of Marketing for Wells Fargo. Tony?
Thank you, Tom. Thank you to the board. I just want to share a couple quick highlights from our day out with your students. We went to 4 schools on it was back on April 7th. We went to 4 schools. We started at Edmonds Elementary School. We went to Riverwoods, where my nephew's at, so that was a treat from us. Then we went to McKinley, and we ended up at Walnut Street School. So we got in front of about 1,600 of your students, and we spent a half an hour talking about the basics of financial education. How do you establish a relationship with a financial institution? We talked about the basics of savings. We introduced the basic concepts of a budget, and your students were incredible. They asked a lot of questions. They were really engaging. It was a great morning and day for all of us. And then we had a Harlem Globetrotter that was with us that gave a message around anti-bullying and diversity and inclusion. And the students, definitely loved the Globetrotter. That was more entertaining than us as the bankers that were there. But your principals were fantastic, and to get in front of 1,600 kids, and kind of the payoff that day was, if you listen through our boring financial education lesson, we gave every kid there a voucher for 4 tickets to the game that night to go out and to see the Globetrotters. So we were hoping it was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And just so you know kind of how those redemptions went, over 2,800 of those vouchers were redeemed. Nice. So we were in front of 1,600 kids. That's almost 2 vouchers a kid that was redeemed. They went to Wells Fargo Arena that night and saw the Harlem Globetrotters play. There was over 8,000 people that attended that game, which is one of the highest attended Globetrotter games this year. The Globetrotters have already called me internationally and said, how do we take this program across the globe and across the nation with Wells Fargo and the school system? So they really enjoyed it. It was a great hit. It was a testament to you and to your principals and to the school. And, I think the last thing I'd be remiss if I didn't say is that Dr. Ahart, he's been a tremendous friend to not only us, but I think to the community. So top notch to deal with, great partner, always cares about the kids first and foremost, the district and the community, and finds a way to make those things happen. And I think this was a prime example of that. So thankful to the Iowa Bankers Association, Laurie Ristown Company. They recognized Wells Fargo for that program. We received their Community Impact Award across all the banks across the entire state. And with that, they gave us a $1,000 grant to go to any nonprofit of our choice in recognition for our efforts. And of course, we wanted that money to come back to Des Moines Public Schools. And then at Wells Fargo, we thought, how do we say thank you? Because you guys are always open doors to us. We really appreciate having the opportunity to come out and to teach financial education to your students. So small token of our thanks, we wanted to add $4,000 to that to give you a total check of $5,000. So I think Lori's brought the check there. And thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you. We like checks.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. That's great.
Thank you, Wells Fargo and the Iowa Bankers Association. Appreciate it greatly. I know that we'll put that $5,000 to really good use.
Absolutely.
Great. The next item on our agenda tonight is the consent items. We allow any person the opportunity to speak to the board for 5 minutes following the presentation of an agenda item. If anyone wishes to speak to an agenda item, please go to the information table to sign up. Remarks must be germane to the agenda, as we ask that you avoid reference to personalities and character attacks, as those types of comments serve no productive purpose. As a reminder to the board and public, the board will not engage in discussion or deliberation with the speaker regarding comments made on an agenda item. Discussion and deliberation will remain among the board members at the board table, with the speaker's comments informing said discussion, deliberation, and determination as deemed necessary. We appreciate your input. Do we have any speakers for consent items? We do not. Ms. Langford, would you please make the motion for the consent items?
I move that the board on the consent agenda, including bills previously authorized, certified, and approved for payment by the board secretary in the amount of $4,142,160 or $100.60.
May I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Langford and a second from Barron to approve the consent items. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Oh, hold on. Got it right.
Consent items pass 6-0. The next item on our agenda is a public hearing. I'll call the public hearing to order on item E1, fiscal year 2017 budget amendment. Is there anyone wishing to speak to this item? Hearing no one, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion and a second to approve the budget amendment for fiscal 2017.
Move approval.
A second.
We have a motion from Barron and a second from Anderson. Mr. Harper, is there anything you'd like to provide as background before we move to our vote?
Yes, this is something that we do annually. And really what this is really a great indicator of how well our budget is developed and put together. If you think about it, we adopted a budget almost 18 months ago, almost 2 years ago, of about $535 million. And the changes that we are asking you to actually make to those functional areas is around about 2% of that. And to put it another way, from a forecasting and estimating standpoint to something that a lot of things we didn't know about to now, basically, that's right in the range, about 98%, basically. And the established, for most, whether you're in the public or the private sector, it is considered excellent to be +3 or better. In other words,
Any questions for Mr. Harper?
Thank you.
Hearing none, we have a motion and a second to approve the fiscal 2017 budget amendment. Please vote. Motion carries 6-0. The next item on our agenda is item number F1, open enrollment late applications for denial. Superintendent Ahart, would you please introduce the matter?
Yes, per Iowa code, we follow all the Iowa code relative to open enrollment requests for both out and in. And one of the stipulations is late applications, unless there's a hardship case, are denied.
I would entertain a motion and a second to deny the late applications for open enrollment.
I'll move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to deny the late applications for open enrollment. I don't believe we have any speakers on this item. Yes, you do. We do. No, yours is the next one. F2, we're on F1.
I had both, excuse me now, I had both, I actually submitted two open enrollments, one for 16-17 and one for 17-18. One was denied,
Correct.
and one was denied for late application.
Correct.
but
If
it
you,
was actually late.
if you'll let us complete the F1, we'll go to the one where your item is actually posted to the agenda. We do have a motion and a second already for open enrollment late application denial. Please vote. Motion carries 6-0. The next item on our agenda is item number F2, open enrollment appeals for denial. Superintendent Ahart, would you please introduce this item?
Yes, similar to F1, F2 has to do with open enrollment appeals for denial, but on-time applications. In Des Moines, we do have a diversity plan that's state required at present, and that's where the bulk of those denials are rooted in.
May I have a motion and a second to deny the open enrollment appeals before moving to speakers?
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Bozen and a second from Langford to deny the open enrollment appeals, and we have 3 speakers. The first of those is Leah Dietrich. Could you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Leah Dietrich. My address is 2618 Stanton Avenue, Des Moines.
Go ahead.
Members of the school board, I would like to appeal the decision to deny my application for open enrollment for my 3 homeschooled children, Judson Dietrich, grade 5, Amelie Dietrich, grade 4, and Greta Dietrich, grade 1. Here are a few reasons I would like my application to be reconsidered, and I consider these reasons to be the hardship created by the denial. The Des Moines Home Instruction Program does not allow me to choose specific enrichment classes for my individual students. The program is theme or topic-based and not elective, like the West Des Moines Home School Assistance Program, which I am seeking. I am looking for specific classes for my children that will help them grow in the skills I think they have or help develop useful skills. Specifically, I am looking for a Spanish class and an art class, which are not offered. 2, the Des Moines Home Instruction Program is a very short period of time during the day it is offered, only 2 hours. I consider enrichment classes to be an investment in honing skills or helping develop skills that I feel my students need. It would be more of an interruption to our schedule than an investment to send my children to classes I have no choice in for such a short amount of time they are offered on Wednesdays. The West Des Moines Homeschool Assistance Program offers 6 classes with the option of a student being able to spend the whole day in the classes parents choose. 3, the Des Moines Home Instruction Program offers block classes, which last only 6 weeks or so, instead of a student being able to attend full semester classes on drama, for example, and giving the student more time and continuity to be enriched in that subject. The West Des Moines HSAP offers semester-long courses, which give the students time to really learn to love and grow in a particular subject. Finally, your diversity plan states, the district shall further deny a request for open enrollment if it is found that the release or enrollment of a student will adversely affect the district's existing composite ratio. I'm a licensed teacher who has been homeschooling my children in Des Moines since 2011, and they have never been enrolled in the district. According to Iowa law, I may continue to homeschool them as I have without reporting. I am confused as to why my children are denied from leaving a district in which they were never enrolled and are therefore not adversely affecting the district's existing composite ratio. In conclusion, I think any homeschool assistance program is a benefit to a community where homeschooling is not only an option for education, but a flourishing one. I am looking to find one that best suits our needs, fulfills our objective to be an investment in developing specific skills, and allows me the choice for each student and grade level I am educating. My desire would be to have my children attend the West Des Moines HSAT because of the reasons stated above. According to the letter we received, my children were denied open enrollment because of the diversity plan. However, as a non-reporting homeschooling family, our children neither benefit from nor contribute to such a plan. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for being here. This next speaker we have is Bruce Lewis. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Bruce Lewis, 29 East McKinley, Des Moines, Iowa.
Please.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I like what Leah said. Let's just go with that. My name is Bruce. I'm here with my wife, Katie. We're the parents of Oliver Lewis. We are here tonight because he was denied open enrollment in the CAM school district for the Connections Academy homeschooling program. Now, we knew very early on that despite where we were living, we wanted to homeschool our son. So even though he's never been in the Des Moines public school system, we had the same letter denying the open enrollment. In our letter of appeal to the board, we outlined just a few of our concerns, one of being his health conditions, health concerns. He has some IBS situations that could cause disruption in class, even missing some class. We're currently seeing a GI on that to see what we can do, but also second, the ability and condition of the school that he would be enrolled in. Now, in your own mission statement on the Des Moines public school system, it says that the DMPS school exists so that graduates possess the knowledge, skills, and abilities to be successful at the next stage of their lives. But in our opinion, we feel that the diversity plan that exists within the Des Moines public school systems completely negates that mission statement, focusing more on the dollar than the student. We want the best education for our son. In our humble opinion, that is homeschooling. The Connections Academy is just one of our options. We have others that we can choose from. So regardless of the decision and the outcome, we will still seek homeschooling options for our son. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for being here this evening. The next speaker is Karen Benson. If you could please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Karen Benson. My address is 714 East 5th Street, Apartment 1, Des Moines, Iowa. I'm stating a fact here that I turned in an open enrollment application on the 22nd of February for 17-18, an open enrollment application on the 1st of March for 16-17 because my son has been consistently bullied in these public schools. I have said that. I have proof and documentation of what he has suffered for his head trauma. Okay, I do not want him in the school. He has been homeschooled previously before from 1st grade to 7th grade halfway through, but when he went to public school, it's no good. I cannot continue to afford to pay no private school like I did in 8th grade where it was smaller class and his grades was A's and B's. Every time he went to public schools, his grades went down. He was bullied, his grades were down, and he was beat up. Now, I said last week or the week before, I'm here to protect my son. Okay, that can never stop, you know, but you guys need to give him the way we needed it done because I was denied open enrollment for 17-18 on the 22nd of February. I was well within my rights. So I think you should just bite the bullet and say, well, you know what, we did make a mistake because I still have the paperwork at home. And that's what I want. I want it. You know, and I don't think it's fair for me and my son to be going back and forth and he getting beat up and stuff. You know, it's not happening for him. He's been homeschooled most of his life and with the vast majority of 300, 400. High school has thousands, almost 1,000 kids in the school. And he's getting beat up? What do you want me to do, beat somebody up? No. Okay, so why am I still coming here for that 17-18 issue? That's why I'm here, because he was denied that for 22nd of February, which is well within the guidelines. I got the paperwork that said he was denied because of late application. That's why the first issue on this, I was saying something because that's the paperwork that they sent me from open enrollment. But it's not true, because I have the copy of the paperwork that I sent in and submitted. So you guys should have that copy work too. That's cut and dry. You know what I mean? You know, I can't do it. I'm not gonna put my son out there, regardless of what the outcome is. You guys making me just show up and show up and show up and repeat and repeat. And I'm repeating the same thing, and it's y'all's paperwork that was given to me that was wrong. When you should just man up and say, yeah, we were wrong on this one. This denial was wrong.
Thank you, Ms. Benson. We appreciate you being here this evening. We have a motion and a second to deny the open enrollment appeals. Is there any discussion from board members or any additional questions?
I do have an
Yes.
additional question, a couple. Starting with Leah Dietrich, I think. I was curious if I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
I was curious if students aren't currently enrolled in our district, how do they, or if a child has been homeschooled their entire, if they've never been enrolled in the Des Moines Public School District, then how does that affect our diversity plan?
Because they're resident students to Des Moines.
Okay.
Isn't part of that then because they're trying to enroll out of the district for a homeschooling program? Whereas if they weren't trying to enroll to another district, there wouldn't be an issue.
Right.
Got it. So to a different homeschooling program not offered by the district, so not our home instruction program, the CAM. Right. The West, sorry, in that case, the West Des Moines. Okay. And then I had, thank you for that clarification. One more question about Ms. Benson's case. This feels like, I know we can't get too deep into this, but this feels like a he said, she said. We did not receive paperwork on February 22nd. That's contrary to the information that we received in our packets.
No, there's two different applications. One was for, I believe, and I'll look this up and confirm, but I believe that there was one for this school year that was submitted earlier, and then another one for this upcoming year. And that's the one that we acted on. I don't know if they're at the same time, but the one for next year is not being denied because of being late.
Right.
So I think the issue she was raising, though, was that we acted improperly on the 16-17 application, but unfortunately, that's already taken place. So we can't go back and redo whatever happened in 16-17.
Well, but the application was made during this current year because the student was enrolled in a different district at the beginning of the school year.
I understand. So for the current year, the application was made for the current school year.
The first one was. The second one was for the upcoming year.
Right.
Right.
But we had already missed the deadline for the first year.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Any additional questions or comments on the open enrollment applications?
Yeah, that was wrong. My first application,
Ms. Benson, you've already received your opportunity to speak. Ms. Benson, thank you. We've heard your testimony. You've already been given the opportunity to speak. The board is going to deliberate now. Thank you. Any additional questions? Okay. Hearing none, we have a motion and a second to deny the appeals for open enrollment. Please vote. The motion passes 5 with 1 abstention. Open enrollment is the process by which parents and/or guardians residing in an Iowa district may enroll their children into another Iowa school district under the terms and conditions of Iowa Code Section 282.18 and 281 Iowa Administrative Code Chapter 17. The actions of the board this evening regarding open enrollment reflect our requirements under state law and those of the district's diversity plan. Even though your requests for open enrollment have been denied, there are multiple ways your students' education can still be fulfilled by the Des Moines School District. I will ask our superintendent to share specifics with regard to next steps that can be taken by each family whose request tonight has been denied.
Yeah, so for those three families who are represented here tonight, we will be reaching out to you directly. We have your contact information on your application, and so we'll be reaching out to you. Somebody from my office will be reaching out to you within the end, by close of business tomorrow, to set up a time to have a discussion to see what other avenues we can pursue to reach satisfaction for your student and your family.
Even for individuals who were not here tonight, we'll also be reaching out to
Yes.
everyone who was denied. So we appreciate you being here, and just expect to hear from someone from the district regarding next steps and other opportunities for full participation in our district's education program. The next item on our agenda is information only. Please note, we have 2 items attached to the agenda for information only, which are the minutes of the Head Start Policy Committee meeting held March the 28th, and award of quotes for 3 projects as detailed in the agenda. Any questions on these can be directed to our superintendent, which brings me to the chair's report. And I just have a couple of things I'd like to mention this evening. First of all, had the wonderful opportunity to be at Lovejoy yesterday with Superintendent Ahart and with representatives from United Way and the Community Foundation to launch the Vision to Learn program. And it was really cool. 20 of the students at Lovejoy received their first pair of eyeglasses to really help enhance their learning. And it was amazing. The kids got the glasses that day, put them on, and they could tell like an immediate difference. I'm only hoping that the school nurses maybe had a little Tylenol or aspirin, just because I know how I am when my eyeglasses get adjusted, and I go through that switch and change, but it was really great. And the wonderful thing about the program is that it's going to be piloted in 5 schools here in the district. It was launched at Lovejoy yesterday, but the students each received 2 pair of eyeglasses, 1 pair to keep at school, so that they can always have something in the building when they need it, and then another pair to take home. But it's a great opportunity for our students who have vision issues to be able to have them addressed, and for those families that can't afford eyeglasses to be able to facilitate their needs. So it was a great opportunity to do one more thing to support our students and our district. So thanks to United Way and the Community Foundation and other funders for stepping up on that program. And the only other thing I want to mention is we do have the Des Moines Retirement Luncheon tomorrow. So for board members that are planning to be there at 12 o'clock at Wakanda, it's always one of my favorite times of the year to recognize our staff that are transitioning. So I look forward to seeing board members and others tomorrow. And that is all I have to report. Before we go to the superintendent's report, any other board members have things to share? Yes.
Well, just really wanted to bring up, we hear a lot of legislative things that have happened. We know our priorities, but there's other things that happen to the school board, whether moving elections to November or home rule or all those kind of things. So even national about the Medicaid, I think it would be good to have a culmination of where we can get briefed on really what went down. A lot of things were happening pretty fast, and I don't know if everybody, to understand what the changes will be for us and what it means for the school district and for the school board.
Great, good idea, Connie. We'll try to get that scheduled. Anything else? Ms. Langford, anything to share? Yes, Ms. Ellsburn.
Okay. For the public, we are actually coming upon a school board election in September, and it sounds early to be talking about it, but the board will be offering a school board candidate work session. We're looking at Saturday, June 24th. We'll have more details. Our subcommittee is still figuring out the details and the agenda for that and the timing of that, but I just wanted to make sure that the public is aware. It will be open to the community, to parents, to staff, to anybody considering a run for school board or just wanting to learn more about our district and how our school board works.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I just, sorry, wanted to, so I ran into Cindy at the Oak Park 5K, and that was a really fun event, 125 years. Like, wow. And it was interesting to learn the history. I was able, after I don't know that I recovered till like halfway later on during the day, but a fifth grader was, they had fifth graders taking people on tours and telling the history of Oak Park. So it was interesting learning more about it. So it was a good event.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Barron? Superintendent Ahart.
Okay, I'm just going to highlight some successes that will sound like high school successes, but they're really successes that the entire system is responsible for. That is the Bell and Blanc AP Index has been released again from the University of Iowa. And once again, all 5 of our comprehensive high schools are in the top 50. That's the 5th year in a row that has happened, with 4 of our high schools being ranked in the top 20. And I just wanted to give you a few numbers. And by the way, Central Campus, again, got special recognition, but since it's not a comprehensive school, they're not eligible for the ranking. Scavo High School, the last 2 years, has had an AP student at Scavo. Many people don't realize that that happens with Scavo students, but indeed we have an active and growing program there. But listen to these numbers. In 2011, there were 181 AP enrollments at Roosevelt. This past year, 605.
Wow.
At East, there were 18 AP enrollments in 2011. This last year, 241. Hoover, 49 to 258. Lincoln, 69 to 575. Lincoln, by the way, has its highest ranking ever at 15 this year. And North, 38 to 405. So the numbers continue to grow, and we continue to work at making sure that those students are having very successful experiences, that we're testing more of those students, and more of those students are receiving that mark of 3 or higher, which earns them college credit. And although our high schools and our academics department work very hard on this, it's really only possible to get these kinds of numbers and success if the whole system is helping prepare those students for the rigors of AP. So I just want to recognize our staff for another year of outstanding work and this AP index recognition again.
I wonder if, as we're telling that story, and I know it's a different list when we talk about AP scholars, but the follow-on data of students that take the test and score 3, 4, or 5, if we could look at that number, the students scoring high enough to earn college credit, and extrapolate a dollar amount that would equate to if they were to enroll at a Regents institution and for every
That's a great
credit
idea.
hour.
Yeah, we sure could.
I think that's a public good that we provide and do it relatively cost effectively.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Thanks.
We can certainly put that together. That's all I have.
That's it? Okay, great. So without objection, our meeting for May 16th is adjourned.